Sitting at the back of the class as a middle school kid, I used to imagine a group of gunmen walking in and trying to take over the entire school. And my 12-year-old self would stand up to all of them, beat them up, and get acknowledged and praised by everybody. These are the type of fantasies I believe everyone has had a couple of times, especially men. I mean, think about it. Have you ever wanted to be acknowledged by others? I was watching this movie called The 100 Meters, and it's about people running the 100-meter dash. Simple, right? But there's this scene that really felt like a punch to my gut. In it, one of the runners is telling his colleague that if he continues running the same way that he is right now, he might win a lot of races, but he's gonna lose everything. His ability to run, his ability to walk, and his place in society. And to that, the other guy simply looks at him and says,
So what you're saying is, even someone like me has a shot at a moment of glory.
Are you kidding me? That's what you got from that?
this guy was willing to never walk again. Do you understand how preposterous, how stupid, and yet how human that is? I mean, think about the actual people who run at the Olympics. They wake up at 4 a.m., they eat the same boring food every day, they don't go to parties, they don't see their friends, they do this again and again, day after day, for 4 years minimum. All for a race that lasts less than a TikTok video. But why? Why do they do it? I mean, the money is a part of it, but outside of the money, like, what else? I believe it's because they are afraid. Afraid of passing away without leaving a mark on this world. We all have an innate feeling, an innate desire to do something remarkable. Some leave their mark on this planet by having kids who will pass on their genes to the next generation, and others will be religious by believing that God will remember them for what they've done, their good deeds. And sometimes we want to do something great, something that will be remembered even after we're gone. We want that tickle in our brain that says, you are special. This is Andrew. Andrew doesn't run, but he's a drummer. And he wants to be the greatest drummer to ever do it. Not just pretty good, but the greatest. And he meets a teacher who's like an actual demon. The teacher screams at him, slaps him, and tells him he's nothing. Most people would just quit, but Andrew, nah. Andrew decides to go all in. He decides that nothing else matters. Not his dad, not his girlfriend, and not even his own body. There's this part where he's practicing so hard that his hands burst open, and this dude just dips his hands in ice and goes back to drumming. And this is not even the craziest part, because while going to one of his biggest shows ever, he has a car accident. His car literally flips over, and he's covered in glass and blood. But what does he do? He doesn't go to the hospital. He crawls out of the car, grabs the drumsticks, and runs to the stage. He was chasing that moment where the music is perfect, where he can feel truly alive. And at the end of the movie, he gets it. He plays the most amazing drum solo ever. It's loud, it's fast, it's perfect. But when the music stops, what's left? You have to be mindful of what you're willing to sacrifice to achieve what you want to achieve. There's one example that's way more extreme than even this one. And it's about a guy called Griffith. Griffith was a poor kid. He lived in the mud, but he looked up at the hill and saw a castle. He thought, if I can get that castle, everything will be okay. I'll be king, I'll be powerful, and my life will be perfect. And for the sake of this goal, he was like a force of nature. He was so pretty, so strong that men followed him like he was a god. He told them that they were part of something bigger, that they were part of his group, his family. He made them feel important, and for a while, it was great. He had a family, he had friends who would die for him, and he was going to achieve his goal. But Griffith had a hole in his heart that could only filled by that castle. So when things got bad, when Griffith had seemingly lost everything outside of his friends, outside of his group, he decided to sacrifice said group in order to achieve that dream, in order for a sliver of a chance to achieve that dream. And he did it. He chose the castle. He condemned the people who loved him more than they loved themselves to a fate worse than hell. And for that, Griffith will forever be synonymous with treachery. But even then, this vile human being is compelling because he did something we know other people might do, will do in fact, for their own selfish desires. Griffith is a warning. He is what happens when you decide that your dream is more important than the people standing next to you. Ask yourself, how much am I willing to sacrifice for this goal? How much is it worth it for me? Odin was the king of the gods. He was the strongest, but he was also a slave. He was a slave to wanting to know everything. He wanted to be the smartest. He wanted to be the wisest. He wanted to be the most capable. He then went to a magic well that had the secrets of the entire world we're in. But the man guarding it said, if you want a drink, you have to pay a price. Odin didn't even blink. He reached up, plucked out his own eye, and threw it into the water. Everyone is a slave to something. Odin was a slave to knowledge, Andrew was a slave to the drums, Griffith was a slave to the castle. We all give up something to get what we want. We all have a god that we worship. But we have to be careful who we serve, because if you serve a dream that asks you to be a monster, you're going to get that dream. But you're going to look at the mirror and hate the thing that's staring back at you. So here's the truth. I still have big dreams, very large dreams in fact, and I can feel them with the tips of my finger. I want to do something great, something that's so much larger than me. But I've also made a rule for myself that if my goal asks me to break my values in order to achieve it, I will just find another way. I will create my own path with my own rules. This will definitely make things harder, but it will also make it so much more satisfying. Because the one moment of glory is like a firework. It's bright, it's loud, and then it's gone. It's beautiful, but you cannot live in a firework. You have to live in the in-between. And what makes the in-between worth living is the decisions you take while believing in them. Don't be blinded by the ecstasy that you forget to look around. Look at the people who love you. Look at the grass under your feet. Look at how far you've come. Run your race. Get in the zone. Push yourself until your muscles twitch. But when the race is over, come home. Be the guy who's powerful enough to win, but kind enough to stay human. That is the real glory. And until next time, stay safe.